Anyone hoping to check out the new Ice Castles attraction in Maple Grove will have to wait a little bit longer. Crews initially wanted to open the Ice Castles by the end of the month, but Mother Nature has had other plans.
It's good to spend some time with our crew here.
In the heart of Maple Grove, a frozen flurry of construction is happening non-stop along Main Street.
We have like 3 or 4 courtyard areas. This will be one open area.
Slowly but surely, a crew of about 24 people is hard at work building up a castle made entirely of ice. However, that construction is not going quite as planned.
It's been a warm year. We've had a few cold days. Unfortunately, a lot of this is going to melt before it gets cold again.
Brent Christensen is the founder of Ice Castles. He says that an ideal forecast for building this attraction would be for cold, and more cold.
If we get over 30, we get a little drippy and melty. I'd love days to be in the 20s and nights to be in the teens or lower teens, 10 degrees or even lower, because then we can really grow this thing fast.
The weather he's asking for isn't in the forecast, which means that people looking forward to this winter wonderland are going to have to be patient.
There's no guarantee when we're going to open. We'd like to think it would be mid-January, but we have to just wait and see what the weather does for us.
The initial hope was to have the Ice Castles open by mid to late December, which would be an economic driver for Maple Grove. But for now, that timeline is in the hands of Mother Nature.
We get what we get and we don't throw a fit, as my wife likes to say.
Warm winter weather has also pushed back the outdoor ice skating season.
Well, this is a standard flooding mode. We're flooding now. We're not really trying to maintain ice that you can skate on. We're trying to build a base.
Golden Valley Park workers were out flooding the city's 15 ice rinks recently as temperatures hovered just below freezing. Golden Valley Park Superintendent Al Lundstrom says his goal is to have rinks up and running before families are out of school for the Christmas break.
We're actually trying to go against Mother Nature and make ice where we got weathers above freezing. So we do have frost in the ground, so we're trying to take advantage of that, put a little bit down at a time, and then cross our fingers.
Lundstrom said Golden Valley's ice rinks are usually busiest between Christmas and New Year's Day. Unusually warm temperatures are also holding back some of the fun at Elm Creek's winter recreation area. The Bunny Hill and part of the terrain park were expected to open, but that's about it. Park officials say it has been too warm to make snow. Temperatures need to fall below 28 degrees for the machines to run.
There maybe is a little bit less numbers coming out, less people thinking about being here, but there also are a lot of people that are super anxious to go out and use our terrain park and use our Bunny Hill this weekend that have been calling on a regular basis and checking in.
The park also has 2 kilometers of cross-country ski trails currently open. Golden Valley police have a warning for drivers. Since September, police say drivers have hit 8 deer in their city alone. Golden Valley Police Chief Virgil Green says officers see most of those collisions around Highway 100 and Duluth Street. The city recently put out a warning alerting drivers about the possibility of car-deer collisions in that area.
Those are some pretty high traffic areas, so we want to definitely encourage motorists to be more aware of potential for deer sightings, because you don't see those deer signs that you kind of see out in the rural parts of the county.
Green cautions drivers to watch for deer as the sun goes down and slow down if you see one. He says it's important not to swerve and stay in your lane. If you do hit a deer, Green advises people to stay in their car and call 911. New Hope Mayor Kathy Hemken announced she's not running for re-election. Hemken has served as mayor since 2009. We caught up with her as she was baking cookies for city staff. Hemken says after 4 terms in office, it's time to do other things. She credits city staff for making her job easier.
I don't do the work. The work is all done by staff, and the only way I could really thank staff, I could thank them publicly, but I could give them cookies.
Hemken says she wants to focus on other charitable efforts, including literacy work with kids. You could say a Brooklyn Park chess club is keeping kids in check. Emily Haugen visited the Zanewood Rec Center, where kids of all ages can share a common goal.
Chess is a game of strategy.
It teaches you how to solve problems and how to calculate and know your mistake.
It was chess instructor Triet Lamb's goal to connect kids to those lessons.
One way I can connect with the youth is to teach them what I know from chess.
He and his friend founded the club in 2022, and it's only grown.
When I first started, and when the kids come, I would, easily beat them. But now I see them grow so much that it takes a lot more for me to beat them. As an instructor, I'm proud of them that they are able to grow. But when playing against them and lose, it sucks.
Lamb's club is made up of kids from as young as third graders through high schoolers. Club member AC Matthews says he likes the strategy.
Getting in my opponent's head, it feels good to know they're a little scared of you or what you can do.
AC and his teammates play each other to prep for tournaments across the Twin Cities.
Hold your horses, guys.
The team also boasts its own chess king.
Actually, it's like my first tournament ever.
Team captain Charlie Hurst started this summer, and the unrated player is already making moves.
Yeah, it was fun to watch him destroy and be happy.
Hurst took the crown at his first ever tournament a few weeks ago.
Just being there was really fun and exciting, but I was also really nervous about the games.
He joined for a challenge and found a community that gives him that.
We can all just gather up, play chess, have fun, talk with each other, and it's a nice community, so yeah, it feels pretty good.
It's teaching him to be better in work and in play.
The chess club is open to any youth, from kids just learning chess to seasoned vets.
It's shaping up as a great season for basketball in the northwest suburbs. Our first CCX Sports Spotlight of the winter season features a Park Center boys standout. For Park Center senior guard Jackson Fowlkes, the big-time atmosphere at the Breakdown Classic as they pulled out an epic win against another top team, Lakeville North, felt like a dress rehearsal for the state tournament.
I wasn't too focused on the crowd, but you could definitely see there's a lot of people there, some college coaches, but we were all just focused on the game. And after the game, after we were walking around watching the other games, it definitely felt like the state tournament environment. And we knew it was going to be a dogfight, and a game of runs. We had a big lead, and they cut it close towards halftime, and we were down by 5 with about 2 minutes left. Coach York called a timeout, and we all just believed in each other and played team basketball and ended up getting the win.
Fowlkes is known first and foremost as a shooter with a deadly stroke on his threes, but slumps can and do happen, even for him.
Freshman through senior year, I spent a lot of time in the gym with Coach Ware. He was a great shooter. The first 2 games of the year, I was actually struggling with my threes. I think I was 1 for 12 at the start of the year in the first 2 games. And I sat down with Coach Ware and we had a talk. And one of the things, he was just giving me tips about things he would do before the games. And the main one was he would shoot faster than he did in warm-ups than in the games, so that once he got to the games, it would feel slow and it would slow down. And lastly, just having confidence and believing that it goes in. So I've been able to shoot it well the past 2 games, and I'm going to try to continue that going forward.
Jackson was a super sub for the Pirates state runner-up team last season, averaging in double figures as a 6th man.
He told me, I could have started on the team last year, but he liked my role coming off the bench when everybody else was tired, and that I had the ability to do whatever I want. But like he told me, it takes sacrifice and you got to do what's best for the team. So I put my ego aside and came off the bench, but still got the role that I wanted to play, so I was happy with it.
This season, it's apparent his overall game has grown, whether it's on the offensive end, where he's become far more than a jump shooter.
We know that teams scout us, they know I can shoot, so especially utilizing the pump fake and the jab and the head fake to drive to the basket once they close out, to either play make for my other teammates or to get an easy layup for myself. It's definitely opened my game up.
And the dirty work like defense and rebounding are part of his game now too.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that has really stepped up on the defensive end, and he's really versatile for us, where he can be able to guard guards and he can go in the post and guard bigs too. So that's really huge for him. I mean, he's 6'5" and has the size to be able to guard all positions, and with his athleticism, he has the confidence to do it.
Those are the things that you got to be able to do at the next level, especially if you want to play and help your team out. Last year, I didn't have to do that as much because we had big guys like CJ, Caden, Joe, and even Chang last year. But now we've got Chang, but we haven't got we're not a huge team, so I know that I've got to rebound more.
Fowlkes is excelling on the court, but also in the classroom, where he has a 3.9 GPA and hopes to study business and finance in college.
Yeah, I take pride in school. You know, my parents always told me one day the ball's going to stop bouncing and you've got to know what to do after that. So I always take care of my grades and everything.
That's something that he's been doing ever since I've known him as a freshman. You know, he's been brought up to make sure that he gets his grades done and works hard for it. And there's been times in his years when he was younger where he wasn't allowed to come to practice because he didn't have his work done. So he's been had that development from a young age.
Park Center is a pretty star-studded team with a lot of guys who can score and a lot who will play in college. But for Jackson Fowlkes, the team still comes first, more than his point total or individual glory.
You just got to play the game the right way. Some games will be big scoring nights for you. Some games will be low scoring nights for you, depending on how the game goes and the flow of the game. So I just believe playing within the flow of the game and letting what happens, and you'll be rewarded for it.
For the CCX Sports Spotlight, I'm Jay Wilcox.